What's up, Bitcoin friends? Today I'm going to walk you through how to set up a Yeti Cold Level 3 Bitcoin wallet. To start, let's go ahead and launch our browser and head over to yeticold.com. Now, the Yeti Level 3 wallet is recommended for more than $50,000 USD worth of Bitcoin. It is a 3 of 7 HT multi-sig setup where private keys are never on an internet connected device. Very cool. So let's go ahead and click Level 3. Step 1, gather and label required equipment. Gather the following items and then click Next. 2 laptops that can run Ubuntu and Bitcoin Core. Almost any laptop made for Windows will work, but if your laptops have an SSD type hard drive, some steps will take a few hours instead of a few days. We're going to label one laptop primary and the other secondary. A CD-ROM drive to write the CDs. Most laptops come with one built in, but you can also buy an external CD-ROM drive. 14 blank CD-ROM disks. Label 7 of the blank CDs descriptor and the other 7 seed 1, seed 2, seed 3 through seed 7. A printer and printer paper. 2 USB thumb drives. One will be used to install Ubuntu, and Ubuntu recommends a 4 GB flash drive. And the other one will be used to transfer transactions between your laptops. Label one Ubuntu and the other transfer. Once you've completed these steps, click Next. Step 2, install Ubuntu and label laptops. We're going to be using the long-term support LTS version of Ubuntu. This is currently 20.04 and is at the top of the download page. Erase all existing data on the hard drive before installing. Use only trustworthy guides such as this one. Install Ubuntu. And then we're going to install security updates using the software updater. So I've actually already done this on a previous video, the Level 1 Bitcoin Wallet Guide. So I'm going to cut to that video, which shows installing Ubuntu and doing a software update. When you have completed installing Ubuntu and doing a software update on each of the laptops, I'm going to come back and we'll continue the Level 3 setup guide. Install Ubuntu. So this is actually going to take you over to Ubuntu's website. Okay, so this is the opening page, the overview. We're just going to go ahead and skip through that. So down below here, we see that it says we also have several tutorials that explain how to create an Ubuntu DVD or USB flash drive. We're going to be doing the flash drive. So we're going to go ahead and open up that tutorial page and go ahead and find how to create a bootable USB stick on Windows and select that. Skip over to step 2 requirements. You're going to need, again, a 4 GB or larger USB stick / flash drive, Microsoft Windows XP or later, Rufus, a free and open source USB stick writing tool, an Ubuntu ISO file, and again, we're downloading the LTS version, and it has a link to go ahead and download that. Let's start off with Rufus. Head on over to their website. And we're going to download Rufus 3.13. And then we're going to head on back to the requirements and get Ubuntu page so we can download the LTS version. Go ahead and click Ubuntu Desktop and the Ubuntu 20.04.1 LTS. And we're going to go ahead and download that. So this is a fairly large file, so I'm going to let that download and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, and the Ubuntu desktop file has downloaded. So let's go back to the bootable USB stick tutorial and head over to step 3. And it says to launch Rufus. So let's go ahead and launch Rufus. There she is. Insert your USB stick. So I have an HP 8 GB stick. I'm going to go ahead and put in the computer. And then Rufus will update to set the device within device field. Let's see if it did that. Yes, it did. And it's the only device I have currently in the computer. So it's the only one to select. If you had something else in the computer, it might show 2 devices. So make sure you have nothing else connected and it'll be easy to pick the correct one. Step 4, boot selection and partition scheme. Get that back up. Okay, now choose the boot selection. Choices will be non-bootable and free DOS. Since you are creating a bootable Ubuntu device, select free DOS. Okay. The default selections for partition scheme, MBR, and target system BIOS are appropriate and the only ones available. Okay. Step 5, select the Ubuntu ISO file. So select the Ubuntu ISO file you downloaded previously. Click the select to the right of the boot selection. So we got the boot selection right there. Hit the select. Open up the ISO file. Select the appropriate ISO file and click open. Write the ISO. The volume label will be updated to reflect the ISO selected. Yes, it did. Leave all the parameters with their default values and click Start to initiate the write process. So it's telling me I need to download a couple files to continue the process. So let's go ahead and do that. You will then be alerted that Rufus has detected that the Ubuntu ISO is an ISO hybrid image. This means the same image file can be used as a source for both a DVD and a USB stick without requiring conversion. Keep write in ISO image mode selected and click OK to continue. And it's just telling me all the data is going to be wiped. So make sure it is backed up if there was any data on it to begin with. This is a fresh USB stick, so I don't have to worry about that. And it's saying it should take about 10 minutes. So I'll be back in a few. Okay, and we're back. The ISO file has completed. It says ready, so we're going to go over to step 10, installation complete. When Rufus has finished writing the USB device, the status bar will be green and filled with the word ready. Yes. Select close to complete the write process. Awesome. We're going to head back over to the install Ubuntu desktop tutorial. Most computers will boot from the USB automatically. Simply insert the USB flash drive and either power on your computer or restart it. If your computer doesn't automatically boot from the USB, try holding F12 when your computer first starts. Okay, we're going to go ahead and switch computers and go over to my laptop. Okay, so after putting my USB flash drive into my laptop and restarting the computer, nothing happened. So as per instructions, I pressed the F12 key on reboot and nothing happened either. So I went back to the tutorial page and read that F12 is the most common key for bringing up your system's boot menu, but Escape, F2, and F10 are also common alternatives. So I tried all three of those. Those didn't work either. So I went online and looked up my HP laptop and how to get to the boot menu, and it turns out I have to go through the Windows settings to get to it. Every device is going to be a little bit different. Again, the end goal is to get to the boot menu and boot from that USB thumb drive. So I am going to show you how to do it using an HP laptop. You're going to want to go to the bottom left corner to the Windows icon and go to Settings. And from there, you're going to go to Update and Security. And then click the Recovery tab. And under Advanced Startup, click Restart Now. And then we're going to go to Troubleshoot, Advanced Options, UEFI Firmware Settings. And then click Restart. Now we see the startup menu. Hit F9 for the boot menu. Arrow down to USB hard drive and hit enter. So now we're booting from that flash drive. And that takes us to the Ubuntu install page. And we're not going to install yet. We're just going to try Ubuntu. Okay, and once the screen pops up, you're going to go to the bottom left corner where the 9 dots are, Show Applications. Go to Disks. And now we're going to delete each partition on the hard drive. So you're going to hit the minus button and delete. That was the first partition. We're going to go to the second one. Same deal, minus button, delete. Third partition, delete. And the last partition, minus button, and delete. Now we're going to add a partition that takes up the entire space of the hard drive, so 128 gigabytes. Hit create, and it's creating the file system. Once that's done, you can X out and click the Install Ubuntu. And we're going to select English and hit Continue. Keyboard layout, English, Continue. Normal installation, and hit Continue. Erase disk and install Ubuntu, install. Continue. And then we're going to select our location and hit Continue. And then we're going to put our name in and a password and click Continue. After that installs, go ahead and restart now. And then it's asking me to please remove the installation medium. So just take out your flash drive and hit enter. Continue boot. Once that reloads, log back in. And to finish the install, live patch, just hit next. No, don't send system info. Next. Location services, no. Hit next. And we're ready to go. Okay, now that we have Ubuntu installed, we're going to go ahead and check for updates, but first we're going to need to connect to the internet. Unfortunately, my HP laptop doesn't have an Ethernet port, but luckily I have this USB to Ethernet adapter, so I'm just going to go ahead and plug my Ethernet cable into that and plug the USB into the computer. And wired connected. Awesome. So go to the 9 dots in the bottom left corner to show applications, and you're going to want to scroll to the software updater. It's going to now check to make sure you're up to date with your software. So it's telling me the software is up to date on this computer. I did install the update earlier, and it just prompted me to punch in my password. Go ahead and install that and then restart. Okay, now that we've installed Ubuntu on both laptops as well as done software updates, let's go ahead and go to our primary laptop and open Mozilla and head on over to yeticold.com. Okay, we're going to go back to the level 3 guide. Skip the first step, skip the second step. And step 3, switch to your primary laptop. We're already on the primary laptop. On your primary laptop, open Firefox and type the following URL into the address bar and click enter. Okay, I'm just going to copy that, open a new tab, paste. Step 4, download Yeti to the primary laptop. On your primary laptop, click on the 9 dots in the bottom left corner of your Ubuntu desktop and then click Terminal. Click Copy to copy the text below this line. Click Copy, go to the 9 dots, Show Applications, open up Terminal, right-click, paste, enter my password, hit Enter. Okay, now we're going to go back to the guide. Click Copy to copy the text below this line. Okay, copy that, right-click, paste, enter. Okay, now we're to the Create or Recover wallet. Let's go ahead and click Create Wallet, and this launches Bitcoin Core. So now Bitcoin Core is going to sync to the Bitcoin blockchain. Now I've already done this, so it's going to go pretty quick. I'm already at 99.99%, just 5 hours behind. Okay, now that Bitcoin Core is syncing to the blockchain, I can go back to step 5, and it says on your secondary laptop, open Firefox and go to disk.yeticold.com to begin setup of your secondary laptop while the laptop downloads the blockchain. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over right now. Okay, we've switched over to the secondary laptop. Go ahead and go to Mozilla. In the address bar, go to disk.yeticold.com. Okay, step 6, set up Yeti on your secondary laptop. On your secondary laptop, click on the 9 dots in the bottom left corner of your Ubuntu desktop and then click Terminal. Click Copy to copy the text below this line. Okay, we're going ahead and click Copy. Go to Show Applications, Terminal, and we're going to right-click Paste, hit Enter. And then we're going to enter our password and then hit enter. Then once that's done, go back to the step 6, click copy to copy the text below this line. Click copy. Right click, paste, hit enter. Okay, now this is going to launch Bitcoin Core. And we're going to go back to step 7, finish downloading the blockchain. Because this device is only used to sign transactions, it does not need to download the blockchain. So you will be able to click next within about 10 minutes. So we'll be right back when that is ready to go. Okay, Bitcoin Core is ready. It looks like we can click the next button. Go ahead and click that. Step 8, disconnect network cable. If you're using a network cable, unplug it now. Because this device will be used to generate private keys, Yeti will disable your network connection when you click Next. Do not reconnect this device to a network until you have erased the hard drive. So go ahead and disconnect your network cable and click the Next button. Further randomize your Bitcoin seeds. Go ahead and click the Skip button. Okay, step 10, copy seeds to CDs. Insert one of your blank CDs. Open the Files application and click on Documents. Copy the folder named Yeti Seed 1 to the CD and then click Write Disk and then click Burn. Okay, so let's go to the File folder. Go to Documents. Go to Yeti Seed 1. Right click. Copy. Head down to the blank CDR. Right click. Paste. And then we're going to Write to Disk. And click Burn. Okay, once that is complete, click the Close button. Go back to the step 10. Repeat steps 1 through 4 above with your other 6 seed folders, then click Next to continue. Ensure that you have 7 different seed folders on each of your 7 seed CDs labeled Seed 1 through Seed 7 before clicking Next. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, so when I'm done, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've burned all 7 of my seeds to the CDs, and I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Step 11, copy descriptor to CDs. So we're going to repeat the same process we just did with the seeds, only with the descriptor.txt file. Now we're going to duplicate that same file on 7 different CDs. So go ahead and go to the Files folder. Go back to Documents. Right-click descriptor.txt, copy. Go to the blank CDR. Paste. Write to disk. And burn. Okay, once that's successfully burned, click Close. So again, we're going to repeat that process for 6 more CDs. And once we have all 7 complete, we'll go ahead and switch to our primary laptop. Okay, I'm back on my primary laptop, and Bitcoin Core has finished syncing to the Bitcoin blockchain. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Step 12, import descriptor. Insert any of your CDs labeled descriptor. Click the Browse button and select the descriptor.txt from the CD file. Click the Next button. Okay, I'm going to pop in my descriptor CD. Okay, load it up. Going to go to Browse, CD-ROM, descriptor, and hit Open. I'm going to click Next. Print this page. This page contains instructions for recovery. Click the 3 horizontal bars in the upper right-hand corner of Firefox and then click Print. After you have verified this page printed correctly, click Next to continue. If you are testing Yeti, you can skip printing this out and just use your CDs, but this would be foolish when using real money. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit the horizontal bars. Go to Print. Looking good. Print button. Select the printer I want. Looks good. And print. Okay, so all my pages have printed. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the computer, close out the print page, go back to step 13 and click Next. Step 14, switch to your secondary laptop. Switch to your secondary laptop currently showing step 11, and on your secondary laptop, click Next to show step 15. All right, so I'm going to switch to my secondary laptop and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back on my secondary laptop and I'm going to go ahead and click Next to step 15. Step 15, write down private key 1 of 7. These private keys were generated by combining a private key pulled from Bitcoin Core with the entropy you provided. They are displayed using the NATO phonetic alphabet. Each word starts with the corresponding letter, and numbers are written out using the English language word. Lowercase words represent lowercase letters. Capital Alpha equals capital A. Lowercase Bravo equals lowercase b. And uppercase 2 equals the number 2. Each fifth word is not part of your private key, but provides a checksum to ensure the previous 4 keys were entered correctly. This makes it far less likely that errors will occur when entering your private key later. Once you have written down these words on your printed packets, click Next to continue. So I'm going to go ahead and write those words down on my packet, and when I'm done, I'll be right back. Okay, once you have written down all your private keys, scroll down to the bottom and hit Next. Step 21. Check seed 1 of 7. If you lose access to more than 4 of your private keys, your Bitcoin will be permanently lost. Enter your seed words below to ensure you wrote them down correctly. Okay, so I'm going to check seed 1 of 7 to make sure I wrote it down correctly. So the nice thing is it's going to show red if it's incomplete, and it's going to show green if I'm good to go. So I'm going to check each seed, and when I'm done, I'll be right back. Step 27, switch to your primary laptop. Switch to your primary laptop, currently showing step 14, and on your primary, click Next to show step 28. All right, I'm going to head over to my primary laptop. Okay, I'm back to my primary laptop. I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Step 28, send and receive with Bitcoin Core. Your wallet is now set up. Go to guide3.yeticold.com for a guide to sending and receiving using Bitcoin Core. So feel free to go and check out that guide. We're not going to be covering that in this video, but be on the lookout for future videos on giving examples of how to actually do that. So that concludes the Yeti Cold Level 3 Bitcoin Wallet Setup Guide. I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.